Today is March 17th, 2020, and I'm teaching from home. So this video is specific for some of my students, but everybody's welcome to watch. I hope you find something useful to watch, hopefully entertaining and fun. What I have here are 2 beehives that we placed in the garden on the south side of the house by this brick to help them overwinter so they would survive. So this video is for my beekeeping friends at Dodge Key High School and at Walker Elementary and at any of the other schools in West Dallas, West Milwaukee. I love you all. So if you find something that you can learn from this, that's my goal. So what I have are 2 honeybee hives here, and one of them survived the winter and one of them did not. The one that did not was a very small hive and didn't have a lot of bees and wasn't a super strong hive. And we put that on the west end to kind of help buffer the other hive, which was a lot stronger, and we had more hope that it would survive. And it did. So you can see them coming out today because it feels like it's about 50 degrees. It's probably almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And what I'm going to do is uncover this, and then I'm going to show you how I'm feeding them, because it's warm out, but we don't have any food like for the bees. They need pollen, they need nectar, and so when they go out and forage, there's nothing for them to eat. So I have some sugar syrup in there. I haven't put a pollen patty in there yet, but I probably will do that later. So let's get started. I'll show you what I'm going to do. And since it's St. Patrick's Day, I brought my magic wand that I made. And I know some of my students really love these things, so it sparkles in the sun really nice. So I'll show you. This is just a tarp to keep the rain out of this area where we had straw. And we did an experiment and insulated the hives, all of them differently. And so I'm going to uncover it. And sometimes my chickens and duck go back there and lay eggs, so we might find some eggs back there. All right, here we go. I'll probably put my veil on. Here are my hive tools. They're helpful for scraping, for propping things open, and for hooking on to frames and lifting them out. I probably won't need those, but I brought them. And this is one of my hats, and I don't like wearing these things, but they're pretty busy. I'll probably start without it. Not a great example, but I'll start without it, and if I need it, it's here. So, all right, here we go. A weight to keep the insulation on the top. And so I look for eggs. Nope, none in there right now. So this is called the top cover, and I'm going to take off the top cover and then the inner cover, and inside is, well, I'll show you, a jar with sugar syrup. This is a moisture board to collect any extra moisture, no bees. And this box is empty. It's just here to provide room for the sugar syrup. So I'm hoping this is visible. So this is just a jar that's inverted with little tiny holes poked in the lid, and the syrup kind of stays in there until the bees lick it out when they want it. So I'm going to just pick it up and show you the bees. There's a little hole inside this cover right there, and they come up from the hive to get the food, and then I'm going to put it all back together because they're going to get mad about it. So here we go. And they're in there, and there's the sugar water coming out still, so I can check that that's happening. And I'm going to place it carefully back. Okay, they're behaving. And I'm going to place this box over it again. Oh, by the way, what is all this? This is sugar. Dry sugar absorbs water, and you don't want your hives to have a lot of water. It's bad for the bees, so it absorbs water, and also the bees can eat it if they run out of food, and I'm not here to replace it right away. So this is going to stay like this for a while, and another couple of weeks or so I can start adding frames and remove the food because there'll be things growing. So I'm going to show you the other hive because that's the one that didn't survive. Show you what it looks like in there. Again, this is called the inner cover. There's a moisture board, and it pulls or wicks moisture out of the hive. This is called a Vivaldi board. The Vivaldi board just provides a little space so that I can add sugar or pollen patty or whatever I need to in between there. And then the holes are for ventilation, but there's also it's called hardware fabric, and there's pieces of it stapled on the inside to keep mice from getting in there, and pretty good, pretty effective. Again, here's the dry sugar. They didn't seem to want it or need it, or maybe they just couldn't get to it, but this was the hive that didn't survive. So this is the inner cover. And then this is the hive body. So I have taken a few frames out of this because they had usable honey on them, and there's no eggs. Good, now I can sit down. So I put those frames in some of the other hives that survived the winter to give them extra food this spring so that they don't starve. Unfortunately, one of the things that happens in this climate is that they may make it through the winter, but they run out of food stores by the time spring comes, and when there's no food available, they'll actually starve right in the spring. So that might have been what happened here. I'm not positive because I'm not positive. I don't think they had enough stores, but it was a very small colony. So this is a frame, and as you can see, there's drawn comb right here. This is all empty, and this is where the cluster of bees was, and they're not alive anymore, but that's where they were. So I'm going to have to clean that out with my hive tool. I probably won't do it right here, but I'll just use this tool and start scraping these things out. So there are 10 frames to a brood chamber like this, and so that cluster of bees is like, oh, here comes one of my chickens. So it was like this in the hive, so you can see where the ball of bees was together right there, like that. And then on the other side as well. It just doesn't look like they had enough food stores for themselves. So, and this is what an empty frame looks like. I just replaced it before. So in this situation, a 50% success rate. We won't say 50% failure rate. And I'll have to clean that out, and then we'll just set it up for another hive when I split one or catch a swarm. So that is my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have questions, you can email me. Those of you who I work with know my email. So thanks for watching.